You guys have caught me in the middle of a mess. It's a beautiful mess though. So yesterday I just got it in my head that I wanted to play in my studio for a little bit, mostly without the whole narration video recording going on. However, I can never help myself. I always at least put the overhead camera on to capture what I'm doing because it's all good footage to show you in some form or another. But I just needed some me time yesterday. And so I thought to myself, I really miss working with stencils and texture paste, or in this case it was heavy gesso and Simon Hurley's solar paste. I miss playing with that and getting that wonderful textured effect. And you know, Valentine's Day, holy smokes, is next week already. I think it would be fun to kind of play with some hearts and texture paste. And in one breath, I said this is going to be just a little simple project for myself. And then the second breath, I said, Barbara, you know darn well that none of your projects are quick and simple. Well, I think the only thing holding me up for this project is I'm not liking some color schemes. So yesterday I kind of shot some footage, so I'm going to walk you through what I started and put that footage in here so that you can see it. And hopefully we can finish this project and this can be a somewhat short video. All right, I took 65-pound white cardstock paper. That's it, just 65-pound. Threw it in the Cricut to cut out some hearts, and the hearts have the circles in them because they will be hung up by a ribbon. This is supposed to be an ornament, something you put on display. I knew I wanted some of these hearts to be done with that stenciling effect, but with the solar paste, which works best on black paper. So I'm going to take out this little mixed media journal thing that I use when I'm making a mess, and then it turns into an art journal. But I'm just going to use that and just some plain old matte acrylic paint. And let my messy self have a little fun. So rather than, I don't think I have a lot of black paper to be honest, I grabbed some acrylic black paint and took 3 of the hearts and just painted them black. Out of all the mixed media techniques, hands down, this is my favorite technique. There's always just something about the reveal. And there's 7 hearts altogether because I had one leftover heart that was in my stash, but the only difference on that one is it's made with a watercolor paper. But I just threw it in the mix. So I was excited about the idea of being able to get many done in one sitting. I thought it'd be very satisfying to be able to feel like I got a lot accomplished in a little bit amount of time. And then while the white ones were drying, I moved on to the black ones because by then the black paint had dried. So I was able to play with the solar paste. And as they were drying, I went to my stash. Now these little white flowers, I cut these out on the Cricut. As I start to run out, I tend to make more for myself because I just love them. They come in handy with journaling, the mixed media journaling. So I tend to have a bunch of these on hand, which is good, right? Because we tend not to worry so much when we know we have enough of something. It's always when we don't have enough of a resource that we try to be very careful with it, right? And use it sparingly or try not to make a mistake. So the fact that I make a lot for myself gives me some mental freedom to just like, let's play and experiment. So it turned out really well that I was able to set things off to the side to dry while working on another aspect. But I set about coloring all different kinds of flowers. Those of you who were watching my video about my Everyday Carry journal, you saw in there how I use a composition notebook for when I'm art journaling, when I'm doing sprays and things like that. So you got to see firsthand while I was doing this project that I did that. But then the next really fun part that I love about this texture paste, and when you do this with the stencils, is once they're dry, how you add color to them, and you can watch the color kind of fill in the cracks and crevices between what you stenciled. And I love letting my hands get dirty, especially because it's watercolors, and I have plenty of footage showing that technique, and I just love to play like a little kid, getting my hands in there and getting dirty. So last night I was able to finish one side of all of them, of all the hearts, and had a bunch of flowers with colors on it. You may have seen the post. I put a post up about how I wasn't able to finish. And the weather worked for us today. We were supposed to go for some tests today up at the VA, but we had wintry and icy road conditions, so we just rescheduled everything, which I thought would work in my favor. Except we had one of those rough nights last night and I didn't get the sleep that I wanted to, and I really didn't get into the studio until afternoon. So I was a little disheartened about that, but I was like, hey, at least I didn't have to drive all the way to Wilkes-Barre today. So first thing I did was flip the hearts over and do the other side, because I wanted to give everybody some time to dry. So all of these hearts are textured and watercolor washed on both sides. These, of course, are the ones done with the solar paste, which I have to tell you, I'm liking these so much, and so simple because it was basically solar paste and done. Where because I was using the white gesso on these and giving myself the freedom to play with colors, these took more time because I did the wash of different colors. And this is definitely a particular style. I know not everybody would enjoy this look, where, see, in contrast, right, if I were to hold these two together, one looks very polished and, well, not only in the shimmery sense of polished, but just it looks a little bit neater and finished, where this has more of a grunge look, a little bit more of a messy look about it. So I think they both look fabulous. I'm just saying that sometimes this taste is not for everybody. The other thing, for those of you following me with the whole lapbook project, I noticed that in this stencil, these Tim Holtz stencils, they're very similar to one another, but I noticed these gear-looking sections of that stencil. And I know I have some spots on that inside cover I was working on with the malleable metal that maybe I could insert something like this onto that page to give it texture and dimension, but that's a different video. But anyhow, that's how the mind works. It's like, it's almost like a happy accident. It was looking at that going, hey, maybe this is that missing technique or missing part for that cover. All right, so my biggest struggle now is the fact that I'm not happy. I made all these little flowers to kind of put on the top. So here, this one down in the corner, you've probably noticed. This is the only one I did not do the back of, because this is the one I'm intending to put into my Gratitude Sunday journal. But this is kind of the look I'm going for, where I wanted to add flowers on top of all this texture in the background. And last minute I decided to add pops of color, which are very dimensional. And how interesting that this brand new purple one that I just cracked the seal on had a defect. You can see that in the video as I'm applying it. So I don't know, I did an experiment. I threw a dab of this glue on the hole and let it dry. That's why I capped it with the little pin. And hopefully that little patch will hold and I can finish putting some purple on this one. Yeah, so I'm kind of bringing you in here in the middle of the mess because it will inspire me to go ahead and get this finished and bring you along with me for that process. I always like sharing kind of the mindset about it, because here's what's kind of happening mentally. Well, one, I assumed that this was going to be like a relatively quick project compared to everything else. It was just, let me have fun, get my hands dirty and play. And when it turned out, of course, to not quite work out for me, because I'm not happy with these little flowers and the colors not matching, it kind of suddenly became a heavy feeling. It wasn't the joyful, woohoo, I'm getting to play feeling. It was like, oh man, now I really got to think this through. So two things happen. I start to get tired because now it's not as invigorating and enthusiastic for me. And the second thing is, like, I just want to walk away. I don't want to do this anymore. And I think we all experience that. So I like sharing what I'm going through so that when you feel it, you recognize it, and I let you know you're not alone in this feeling. However, I'm pretty dedicated to getting this done because I don't want it to be an unfinished project, because that makes the hair on the back of my neck kind of stand up. I can't have something unfinished right now because I started that Chinese paper cutting project, which is moving along, but it's unfinished. Of course, the lap book, 2 years in process, not finished. So this was supposed to be just a little yay. So let's get it done. That's why you're here, because I am motivated and inspired to finish it with you coming along for the ride. So where do I want to go right now? Let's look at this. I want to put the finishing touches on this with the purple pops of color and kind of set that off to the side so it can dry. But this kind of worked as a little template of what I'm trying to move towards. It was very important to me that the black lines were on the flowers. I think that sets it apart. If I grab one of these that's unfinished, when you lay it on there, it's missing that something. So the black lines really helped. And I really intend in the center to either add a embellishment, a little bling in the center. That remains to be seen. I could even fill it with the pops of color, or I kind of like the spiral, and I think it'll work well just leaving it with the spiral as an option. All right, so let me just do that. Let's see if this little patch holds. clean the little pin. Yeah, the phone gives a nice angle, nice close-up. I don't know. See, I did blue in some sections. I did blue around here and a little bit up here. And I left a corner up here without anything in between. But then I decided, okay, maybe I wanted some of this purple, but I don't know if I want to fill in everything. All right, Barbara, what do we have going on here? So I have different sets of flowers. I have flowers that are going to be attached on the heart, and then I have flowers that are going to dangle from the bottom of the heart. The bigger ones are going to dangle. So like these purple ones, it's like one big one and two small ones. However, they're going to dangle. Like that, depending on how much string I give them, right? But then I need to pick out, I just am not happy with any of these. And I think the purple one, it's too much. It's going to have to be totally different. And I came up with an idea for the Simon Hurley ones. I don't know if I like calling them Simon Hurley ones. I made them, but Simon Hurley paste on there. I want to use that metal. That same made of metal aluminum tooling foil. I think if I take the dies that I set aside to make the flowers and die cut some silver, so it's a different material altogether and it's silver and shiny. I know that'll work for these. I wonder if I should have it work on these as well. All right, so let's just say these three are going to go with that one. These three are going to go with that one for the dangly part. Don't run away. All right, for the red one, gosh, isn't that so cool? That's a little too orange. Yeah, this one's more orangey. Red. Red and red. Yeah, so I have footage too where, like, how to explain it? Like an experimental artist. I don't know. It's more like I'm an impatient artist. So I had fun when I decided I wanted to color a few more of those flowers. I just threw them in the water reservoir part of the watercolor palette and just let them soak. But then I took them out, and because they were soaking wet, I was able to kind of spatter them with more pigment and watch that swirl around. That was kind of cool. And these are the product of that. Okay, so those are the hearts with the dangling flowers there. All these other ones may or may not get put on. I want to put them in a tray. I made this with the Simon Hurley paste. Just spread it on because I think I can flip to my other footage. I want to create little flowers that are going to hang off the bottom of the hearts. But I want them to be in the same style as the hearts. So what I want to do is take each one of the solar pastes and kind of spread it across in a strip. So a red one, a purple one, a blue one. And then after it dries, I will use the dies to cut it out. But if I do it right and line these up accordingly, then I'll be able to also use the negative space once the flowers are cut out. Okay, so if I want to be able to use the negative space, I'm going to count on myself to put these down in such a way that will make that work. So these are what's going to hang off the bottom. At least that's the premise. Look at how cute and dainty that one is. Look, and here I can use that now for something, whether I cut it out in strips or cut out each individual one. I think strips and torn strips. Yes, right? I can see that as torn strips somewhere. Yes, don't waste anything. All right, so these are supposed to be the dangly ones for these. So we got the purple, the blue, and then without squishing my purple pops of color, these go with that one. Okay, so now I just need whatever flower I'm going to put on these, and then I can assemble, right? No, I still haven't come up, well, yeah, with flowers for them. All right. See? I think I'm closer than I realize. Yes, I know I can hear some of you say, just leave these just the way they are. They're fine just the way they are. They are so cool. I agree. I agree, but I can't help myself. I can't help myself. I want more. Let's have fun with that malleable aluminum. All right, I can probably just cut this bit right here and get what I need. Be interesting to see if these die cuts will be able to cut this or not. Let's get the die cut machine up here. Let's see what we get. I'm not worried about trying to make this pretty. I'm trying to get as many to fit on there as I can. So let's just see. Feeling a couple of passes, right? Don't you feel like it'd be a couple of passes? Ooh, interesting. I can feel as it's going through, it just kind of squished down. I may or may not, instead of using the cutting pad, we'll see, I may have to get out the other hard bottom, I don't know what else to call that thing, plate? Yeah, I think, it's so pretty though. Oh God, I love this. Oh God, I love it. Yes, if I kind of bend it back and forth. Yes, 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 yes. Oh my God, I love this stuff. I love this stuff. The true question now, though, is, yeah. I think that's gonna be it. Of course, okay, yes. Oh boy. How difficult are these little ones gonna be? Not difficult. Not difficult at all. Oh, this is wonderful. Feel like, well, at least soda cans of late, I feel like that is the texture of this, like a soda can, which I've worked with soda cans before to make anniversary keepsakes, and I actually cut them on the Cricut. I might have one right here to show you. Blow some dust off of it. Yeah, see these? I made these for our 10-year anniversary. Is that, what is 10 years? Is it aluminum or tin or something? But if you look, it's actually made out of cans. And the Cricut was able to cut it. So outside of just collecting the cans, cleaning them, cutting them open, flattening them out, and putting them in the Cricut, I used one of those brads. Yeah, look at that old box. Isn't that a cool old box? I used one of these brass paper fasteners to poke through the center and hold it. I cut on the Cricut these little paper tags that talked about our wedding anniversary, and hot glued a magnet to sandwich it all together. And everybody that came to our party, this was their keepsake to take home. Their little, it's not called a souvenir, is it? Party favor. Yes, I love when my brain actually puts words together. All right, back to the task at hand. All right, edit, fast forward this to the end, please. 2 days later. I am not even kidding you, not even exaggerating. 2 days later. All right, so yeah, life happens in between. But it wasn't even so much life getting in the way. Let me explain. So, first of all, here, let's give you a quick, here. Ooh, so pretty. But you see this? First of all, 3 little flower dies. And how many? Well, 6, right? Because we're not counting this one that's going in the gratitude journal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Each with 3 flowers on the front. And yes, I was insane enough to also do it on the other side. Oh my God. So 18, 36, yeah, okay. And then I also decided it looked a lot better and added a little weight to the dangly bits to put the silver on both sides. Oh my God. So am I doing the math right? 1, 2, 3, yes, 6 times 6 is 36. Very good, Barbara. You get an A there. These 2 I'll get into that. We did those, the bottom differently. So isn't it 36 by 36 would be 72? Yeah? Quick math in my head, 72. So 72 of them done 3 at a time. What? Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay, everybody breathe. I kind of put on my Murdoch Mysteries, had that playing in the background, and just did what I had to do. Okay, let's just, please, that fast forward sound, whoop, fast forward through that craziness. So then I decided, I think I may have footage of this, on these nice solar paste ones. The bottom, because the flowers were different, these flowers, right, I had cut out, not the silver bits, but the flower bits were Cricut cutouts. So these flowers were different, and I had them on stash. They were different from those ones that I just did nicey with the pre-made solar paste paper, where I just showed you this. Since they were different, I couldn't put the silver on top because they were identical, same size. And why go through the fun of making them solar paste colored and then covering them with silver? So I decided to add these little pearls, these half pearls, glued them on both sides, gave it weight, and you might say, why is there chain on these? It's not because of the whole polished look. It's because by the time it's really cool when it hangs, because like you can't see the filament, the black filament here. And I chose a black filament instead of a thread. I figured it would last longer, number one, and number two, it does kind of give that illusion, like when I hang it up places, I was looking at it where I had it hanging before, and you couldn't really see the black filament, so it was kind of cool. These were kind of suspended underneath it. Tying and working with this black filament, let's see, is like working with hair. That's a double strand that you're seeing. Here's, come on. Come on, show yourself. Holy smokes, can you even see? There's a single strand. Oh, am I insane? I am insane. I kept praying to the paper crafting gods and said, no, there must be a better way. Whew. Needless to say, I didn't shoot any footage. I just I had to do it. I didn't do it all in one sitting. I had to do it a little bit at a time, because then I was getting frustrated too and trying to tie those little knots that these weren't falling. Oh, look, they're getting tangled now. That's all right. That's okay. Am I on the right camera here? Oh, Lord. There it is, untangled. But I was getting frustrated because I could not really control how far down they were. It was like wherever the knot wound up, that's how far down it was. And I wanted them to be nice and staggered like that. So I did, to some degree, get it to do that. But it was more like I had to wash my hands of it. Wherever they fell, they fell. See, like these here, I'd like those to be staggered a little bit more. Whew. But it still looks fine. Still looks fabulous. By the time I got to these were the last two that needed to be done. I said, you know what? Gosh darn it. To save my sanity, chain. Definitely chain, because I could control that. I could absolutely control that. And the chain, easier to work with. It matched the whole shimmery shiny of each piece. And I really like it. I really like the way it turned out with the chain. Wait. Can I tell you another story too? On top of all that, I originally kind of put my faith in this glue to get that aluminum to stick to the paper. No, they like to pop off pretty easy or even peel off pretty easy. So after I had stuck them down with that glue and thought, okay, that was a done story. Oh my God. E6000 glue. I have little ones here. Yeah. Get my eyes out of there. It should focus. There you go. The E6000 glue did it. They're staying on there. So just think. I had to re-glue them all. I am pleased, however. Originally, I'm thinking, right, day one, something fun, you know, inspired by, I think, I saw a pair of earrings. I'd like to kind of replicate that in paper form. This is kind of cool. Should be a quick. And I even pictured myself saying and encouraging you guys, you should make this project. It's going to be loads of fun. Baloney. Unless you can come up with some really better ways to hang the little dangly bits. Or better yet, just don't do the dangly bits. Just stick to that right there. Is there anything else I want to tell you? No, I don't think so. I think they're really pretty. I like them. I'm glad it's done. I would make these over again. That wasn't too bad. But I would never, ever, ever work with that filament again to make these. Happy Valentine's Day. Laugh a lot. In the funny farm. I love you guys. I'm glad I can share my insanity with you. All right. I appreciate you. I hope you're laughing. I hope you're laughing a lot at my expense. Please, it's worth every giggle. I'll see you guys for the next project. A lot sooner, I think. Yeah, bye.